So, hello. As always, let me know if the music is at a decent level, because I can never tell. One of these days, I'm going to actually figure this out, but not today. Hello, Rose. How are you? We're going to be painting on the other side of the Pokemon that I started last time. So I'm excited. I got these all sketched out earlier. Hello, Hazel. Oh, that's okay. I hope that you're doing better. Also, I hope that the music is at the good level. Hi, Eleanor. Oh, speaking of the right level, and Becky, everybody, hello. It's good to see everybody. So, if you remember, this is the one that we did last time. And so I went in and I thought about it for a long time, trying to figure out what I wanted to do on the other side. And what I decided is, since this is the final form of the evolution, that on this side I would do the other two forms. So that's what we're going to work on. But first, hey Jay, oh my gosh, everybody's here. The gang is all here. You're learning to be a lefty. Um, since I've been a lefty my entire life, I don't know that I have any tips for you, because I know if I needed to learn to be a righty, I would be up the creek. So I hope that it's a little bit easier you learning to be a lefty. So, oh, let me show you guys, if you remember the Bazooki, the second bag that we worked on last time, I finished that. I would show you the actual bag, but it is flying away and on its way to other climates. So if you want to see that, I did get pictures of it, and that is it. And honestly, I think it came out really good. So, I mean, I'm excited about it. Hail, hail, the gang is all here. The fun part about that bag is the backside of it. Not that I can read music, but I did copy the notes for an actual song on it. So that is at least the beginning measures to Toss a Coin to Your Witcher. Just in case anybody's curious. You know? Just because, hey, why not? So that was, I figured I should show you that, since that's the bag that I started last time, but don't actually have to show you, because I finished it last week. So yeah, I think it's kind of cool. Oh, thank you. I have no idea what the notes actually are, but you know what? Supposedly it plays a song, so we're just going to roll with hopefully it actually does. Also, I'm feeling so intelligent here. I also can put up on the screen the character that I'm going to work on first. I mean, huzzah, check that out. So you guys actually know what the heck I'm trying to paint. Look at me, see, I'm learning. It takes me a long time, but I'm learning. You know, this technology thing gets to me. I always feel about 5 steps behind. Well, the notes that I did, I don't know if it makes any difference, but the notes that are on that particular bag are for the guitar tabs. I don't know if that makes any difference, because I don't play anything. So, and they did look different than the notes that were on the piano version, but I figured that the guitar tab ones made more sense, considering it was for a bazooki on the other side. And I hope I'm actually saying bazooki right. It's such a weird word, and it's kind of a fun word to say, but I don't know if that's actually how you pronounce it, or if that's just the way it's spelled. Alright, we gotta get this little pink goomy going. So I know Hazel had a interesting, in a not good way, time lately. She had a stroke and is now learning to be a lefty, as she said. How's everybody else doing? Hopefully okay. Hello, FJ. We've got everybody here and then some. So, yeah. So, everybody send all the good, positive, healing thoughts to Hazel. Because it sounds like she had one of those weeks that you don't actually want. Or possibly longer than that. It does explain why I haven't seen you in a while, though, Hazel. So, I am glad that you are recovering. Like, not anything that you want to deal with, but I'm glad that you're recovering. You know what? Your typing is actually far better than mine, and I don't have a medical issue. If it wasn't for autocorrect, I would be up the creek. Hey, Lori! We're finishing Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all. You know, it took me forever trying to decide what I wanted to do with this bag. Like, I got the other side done, and then it just kind of sat there because I became obsessed with the other bag for a little while. Which I feel like is a thing that happens to me probably far too often. You know? I'm like, yay! And then I have to come back to the other one and come up with ideas. But I thought about it really hard and decided that doing Goomy and Sligoo sounded like a great thing. Also, I don't know if you guys follow along with my book readings, but everybody send me get out of jury duty free thoughts. I might have jury duty next week. And I don't object to the idea of jury duty, you know? I just object to how far away it is. Like, I don't mind going into town once a week or so, but the thought of a 30-some mile drive for 5 days straight when they pay you, what, like $10 a day if you're lucky? I'm like, y'all know that won't even cover the gas that I'm gonna have to pay to do this jury duty. So I'm kind of hoping that either it gets canceled, the trial, or when I get there on Monday, they're like, no, we don't really want you. You're not a good juror. So that's kind of my hope, that they'll be like, no, you would be a terrible juror. It's kind of funny, because honestly, when I get there... Oh, I'm sorry, Lori. That sounds... I've been there. It's never fun. Well, keep your chin up, and I will try to distract you as best as I can if that is what you need. So, okay, back to the jury duty thing. I'm terrible about not actually... Oh, good job, Rose. I'm so terrible about not finishing a thought. I'll start something and then I get distracted and forget to finish my story. So, back to the jury duty thing. I'm not sure, honestly, if they can even call me, mostly because of the fact that where I live is a very weird place because my mailing address is in the town that called me for jury duty, but where my house actually is in a completely different county. So I'm not sure how that works. I did find out the backstory about why we live in one county, but everyone on the lake's mailing address is in a different county. And evidently it's because way back in the 40s, when people were first moving onto the lake, the county that we actually live in refused to deliver mail out here because it was just too far away. Because honestly, we're on the very far edge of the county. We're actually closer to the county that I got called for jury duty in. So the person who lived here on the lake originally put a mailbox just over the county line, and it was one mailbox for everybody that lived on the lake. And my neighbor, who was a kid back then, said that she would ride her bike or walk the 5 miles to the county line, pick up the mail for the entire lake that was all in one mailbox, and then walk the 5 miles back. And that was how they managed to get mail to the people who lived out here on the lake. But when the place started getting built up more, they just moved the mailboxes here to the lake, and the delivery driver from the town that's closest to us just picked up the route because it was still in the other county. It's just weird. Like, it's just the weirdness of living in the middle of the woods, I feel like never really ends. There's always something that's like, people are like, really? That's why that's like that? It's weird. So anyway, I'm not really sure about the legality of being called for jury duty in a county or for a county that I don't live in. I guess we'll just have to wait and see, you know? Should be interesting. I'm kind of hoping that just kind of gets me out of it, though. They'll be like, you don't live in this county? And I'll be like, no, I don't. Also, Lori, I am so sorry. That's got to be so hard. I was checking out your comment, but I'm trying really hard to be better about actually finishing a thought when I start it, because I'm terrible at it. Alright, we need a little bit of shadow here. Yeah, that's what I thought, Jay, but I mean, I don't know how it's gonna work. Like I said, my mailing address is in one county, but my physical, where I actually live, is in the other county. So I have no idea what on earth they're going to do when I show up there on Monday. Unless it gets canceled. If it gets canceled, then this is completely a moot point. But it should be interesting. Well, Lori, we will try our best to be good company. Or at least I'll try my best to be good company. As much as we can. Also, if anybody wants to see more of my ridiculous building in The Sims, I have a video going up tomorrow where I recreate Stormwind Keep from World of Warcraft in The Sims and then begin making rooms for some of the Alliance leaders inside of the castle. I think it turned out pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good, and it'll go up tomorrow. Yeah, the have you ever been called for jury duty, Lori? I mean, how does that work? I don't understand it, but I'm just gonna shrug my shoulders and hope for the best, I guess. I guess that's all you can do. Counties are weird. I think that's why here on the lake we end up most of the time plowing our own roads in the winter because I'm pretty sure that neither one of the counties that are close to us want to claim us. Oh jeez. I if I have to do jury duty, I would honestly rather do it in the county that called me for it, because if I had to do it in the other one, it would be a 45 to 50 miles each way trip instead of the 35 to 40 miles into the town that called me. So, I mean, if I have to do it, I would rather do it with the people that called me, but honestly, I'd just kind of rather not do it at all. That doesn't sound very civically minded of me, but, you know, it is what it is. I would rather not have to do it at all. But if I do have to do it, I guess I'd rather do it for the ones that called. I guess. Kinda. Maybe. It's goofy, and like I said, when you get up here into the woods, it gets even goofier. Because there are so many places that are just so out of the way and so far away from any real towns that I guess it makes it really hard to find a prospective jury pool unless you just go inside of the, picture me doing air quotes here, cities. I always am like, you know, I don't think anything up here can really be called a city. Because I think the biggest city up here in the UP is maybe 60,000 people. Maybe, if that. Despite all that, I like it. Obviously, or I wouldn't live up here. So how's everybody doing weather-wise? We were back to warm. We haven't gone back into like far too hot, but we are back in, I guess, typical late summer weather for us. A little more uncomfortable than you really like, but that's okay. Thankfully, we're getting rain, which I really appreciate. It was getting, like, pretty dire for a while there. Oh, man. That does not sound good. I mean, we, we're doing okay heat-wise. It's not the best, but then again, compared to what the rest of the country's getting, oh my gosh. Yeah, that's unbearable. I think we might get up into the high 80s or low 90s tomorrow. And I think tomorrow is supposed to be our hottest day this week. But I feel bad complaining about it being 90 when half of the people that I talk to are in the hundreds. That's just... I would cry. I would cry so bad if it was up over 100 here. Mostly because almost nobody up here actually has air conditioning. So what you do is you open up every window in the house at night, and then you keep a real close eye on the temperature, and in the morning, when it starts to get close to being the same temperature outside and inside, you real quick shut all the windows. At least that's how we do it. And mostly, the house stays kind of bearable. Not perfect, but bearable. And then, of course, you live on frozen strawberries that you blend up into a quasi-smoothie when they're still half frozen. And that's how you beat the heat in the UP. At least that's how I beat the heat. Yeah, I guess technically if I really want to beat the heat, all I kind of need to do is get over the fact that I don't like the way I look and just put on a bathing suit and go fall in the lake. I haven't done that yet this year, but it is an option. I need to get over myself. It's just really hard. When you're not happy with anything about your physicality, it does make it hard to put on a bathing suit and go jump in the lake. When I lived in the South, you could not survive without air conditioning. I lived in Texas for a while, and I lived in Tennessee for a long time, and both places, you kind of sort of have to have AC. You just don't manage without it. Kind of makes you wonder how the pioneers made it. And it also makes me very glad that I live when I do. Because I would be, as I said so often when I was reading the Little House books, I would have been the worst pioneer ever. I mean, I guess I wouldn't have known anything different, but I feel like if you plonked me down into Laura Ingalls Wilder times nowadays, you would have the... I would be so whiny. I would just be so whiny. Oh, that's gotta be rough, Becky. I didn't think about it. Oh, hey, Becky, take your wildfire smoke back. We're getting it again. Just kidding. Not just kidding about getting the smoke again, but I know you don't want it back either. Alright, there we go. We have the basics of this. Oh, no, we don't. I've got to do his other little ear flappy-dappy. Which brush, which brush, which brush? Not that brush. This brush. Trying to find the right paintbrush is always exciting. I knew I was forgetting something. Hey, if it wasn't for fans, I would be a very, very, very much even more whiny human because, yeah, we need the fans to suck in the cooler at night air. Not even joking about that. It is enough cooler at night that having the fans on is kind of our biggest saving grace. Oh, okay. Well, I just get headaches from it. I don't get any, like, actual allergies. I just kind of notice it. It's not even really headaches. I just notice whenever the smoke days are, whenever we have, like, a smoke alert, that those are the days when I walk through the entire day feeling like I'm half asleep. It's really weird. And also really annoying, because I don't like walking through my days feeling half asleep. Oh my gosh, Florida's hot. Oh my gosh, I had some relatives in Florida, and the only places in Florida that I thought were moderately comfortable were right on the beach. Because, oh, hot and sticky. Also, welcome, new girl. You are a new face that I have not seen before, so welcome. We're painting Pokemon, because why not? Alright. I guess I need to do his little hat thing. There we go. One drop of that. Maybe more than one drop. There we go. Oh, yeah, I did see that the Gulf is, like, incredibly hot. That that's rough, because that was the best part of going to Florida, was the fact that the beach always had that nice breeze coming off of it. I have not been to Florida. I think the last time I went down to Florida, it was 2009, maybe? That sounds about right. The Space Coast? I used to go to the Orlando area, and also about once a year or so, I would go to Daytona Beach because my late husband's family all lived down there. And so once a year, they would have a big family thing right on Daytona Beach. It was a lot of fun, but I don't know. Have not been down there in years. Alright, now a little bit of white right in here. There we go. I think the best part about the Florida trips is my late husband's grandmother retired from Disney. And so we could go to Disney on her passes, which is probably the only way I ever would have gotten to Disney. Where at in the UP do they live? It's a beautiful place up here. I know a lot of my neighbors fly down to, or, you know, they're snowbirds. They live in Florida in the winter or Arizona in the winter, and then they come here in the summers. I'm not a snowbird, I'm a chickadee. I live here year round. Oh, that's actually a really cool idea. I should make a little t-shirt that's like, I'm not a snowbird, I'm a chickadee or a blue jay. Well, the UP is so much bigger than you would think. I always tell people that when they're like, "Oh, do you know so and so?" And I'm like, "Where do they live?" And they're like, Ontonagon." And I'm like, I know where Ontonagon is, but it's like a 6-hour drive away from me, so." It's so funny. You look at the Upper Peninsula on the map and you think, that doesn't look that big. Then you get up here, and if you drive from the east coast of the UP all the way to the west coast of the UP, it's about a 7-hour drive. Which you wouldn't think, but it is. I'm not sure that I'm really pleased with this spiral, but it works. I don't know. Like, I know so many people that do the north-south thing, but I don't know. Even though I complain about the winters, and trust me, I complain about the winters every year, I still don't think. I think it would require a very large charge of dynamite to get me to leave here. Because even as I complain about the winter, there are things about the winter that I love. And I love the quiet. Like, it is such a peaceful season. It's just a little bit on the cold side. So, lots of peace and lots of cold. Yeah, I have a friend who lives. I don't think they live in New York City itself. I think they live in one of the boroughs. But that's another place that's really big. I don't hate winter. I definitely don't love it. But it's got a beauty to it. I would miss it. I would also, when I lived in the South, when I lived in Texas and Tennessee, I missed having 4 seasons so bad. And people would be like, "Oh no, this is spring." And I'm like, "This is not spring. It was moderately cooler for a half a day, and now we're back up to it being 90. This is not spring." Now, do I enjoy the bugs of spring? Definitely not. But I do enjoy spring. And I love autumn. There's something just so magical about watching everything getting ready to go to its winter rest. I love it. I used to say that autumn was my favorite, no matter what. And now, I don't know, now there's something about spring that I just appreciate even more, I think. I think I like watching everything wake back up and come back to life. And watching all the birds and everything. I appreciate it. I I think I said it in one of my videos. I'm starting to find something in every season that I can really appreciate. I guess if I had to pick one, maybe autumn would still be it. But I don't know, spring is starting to work its magic on me. The older I get, the more I appreciate spring. Winter, I like winter because it is the season of rest. The things I don't appreciate about winter, though, are all of those really fun and exciting things like, the short days. I have not seen Barbie. I probably won't. Not because I think that there's anything wrong with it, just because I almost never actually get to the movie theater. Oh, I harvested two of my jalapenos today. And I used them when I made fajitas. And they came out so good. Like, I was very pleased. And my broccoli, the second cutting of it, is almost ready. Welcome back, Rose. So my second cutting of broccoli is growing big and strong. I think my cucumbers are going to be ready soonish. Like, not quite there yet, but they're getting there. So I've got a lot of blossoms and a couple of little itty bitty baby cucumbers popping up. So I'm happy about that. I'm so happy with my garden this year. All of the effort that I put into building that raised bed is paying off, and I'm so absurdly pleased with it. Alright, well, I don't know that I love this, but it'll do. I will be able to clean it up and do it when I do the line work later. Gotta do some little tiny eyeballs. You had to put your siblings to bed? I've never had any younger siblings. You didn't miss much. We were talking about the seasons and what season is everybody's favorite. And me being me, I can literally not pick a favorite. Because there's something I like about all of them. So what season is your favorite, Rose? I feel like maybe 99% of people say that autumn is their favorite. Because it's a great season. And then every once in a while you meet a winter lover. Usually that's people that live someplace hot. You love winter? You and Lori. Also, I think I hear raccoons, so I might have to go feed them here in a little bit. Oh my gosh. I never thought about that. Living on the Space Coast, new girl, that's got to be disruptive at times. Kind of cool though to watch the rockets go up. I don't know that I'd like it though. I don't like all the noise. Like that's always been my biggest problem with like fireworks is the noise. It gets to me really, really fast. There we go. Oh, he looks angry. I don't think he's supposed to look so angry. I kind of like him though. Alright, I'm going to finish up his little cheek patches, and then I'm going to declare a little break because I hear a raccoon out there that probably wants some food. So I'll probably turn the camera here in a minute, get a refill on my drink, and then we'll come back and do Sliggoo. Oh, that baby raccoon is... You know, that one is almost too friendly, if you know what I mean. He gets very close. And I probably should be more cautious with him, but he's so cute. Like, there's something that is so absolutely cute about watching him grabbing. And like I said, if you read the description in the short, I'm not crazy enough to pet him, but I kind of want to. Actually, even Tripod's getting to the point where she comes almost right up to me, and I'm like, no, back up. Before I feed you, you have to back up enough so that we are both comfortable. I do love the silly creatures, though. Also, there are now 2 squirrels, one little male squirrel and one little female squirrel, that will come and sit on my knee. All right, Hazel, sleep well. And continue healing. Concentrate on getting better. And if you're feeling up to it, we're going to be playing Dreamlight Valley on Friday. So if you're feeling up to it, you want to drop in, we will be here Friday night playing Disney Dreamlight Valley. I think I'm going to get the Simba and Nala from The Lion King. At least I'm going to try to Friday. That is my goal, is Simba and Nala. Dreamlight Valley is like almost too much fun. It's a very enjoyable game. I've been having a lot of fun with it. Also, Hazel, definitely sweet dreams and keep on keeping on. I know you can do the lefty thing. I've done it my whole life. Can't be that hard if I can do it. She says, knowing full well that if you reverse the situation, I would have so many issues. You know, especially this time of year, it is so easy to get busy. So, you'll make it back, Becky. I'll be here doing Friday Night Lives on Friday nights. That makes sense, right? I mean, obviously, I'm not going to do Friday Night Lives on Saturday nights. That would be weird. Um, the new Sims, you mean, Rose? I don't own it. I have not bought it yet. And I don't know that I will, at least for a while. I don't buy new expansion packs right away because they're so expensive. And there are so many of the expansion packs that I want that I know will be on sale before the new horse pack. So, although I am tempted by it, because I spent 99% of my life as a horse girl, I just can't justify $40 for it. Well, Becky, you just keep on keeping on. You keep recovering. We will be here, you know? As far as I know, I'm not going anywhere. But yeah, I've been watching different videos that different creators that do The Sims are doing on the horse pack, and it looks great. I can't justify $40 for just getting horses. As much as a part of me would like to get it. I'm just, nah. Now, I did hear, and oh my gosh, I can tell you, especially since it's not going to be an expansion, it's going to be like one of their cheaper packs, I might get when it comes out next year. They're going to be putting out a medieval build buy kit. And for medieval stuff, I will probably pony up a little bit of money. But I'll get the horse pack eventually, you know, when it's lame and nobody wants it anymore because they've all moved on to the next big expansion. That's when I'll get it. I'm always a day late and at least $1 short. Story of my life. That's like the Sims build video that I have coming out tomorrow. I think I did a pretty good job on the build. And I was so mad because I went absolutely crazy and I downloaded a ton of build by CC so that I could make the build that I was doing even better. And maybe it's just because I'm old. Like, maybe this is just me being old finally really catching up with me. But I could not get the CC to work with my game. And after I tried like 8 or 9 times, I got frustrated and gave up and said, fine, I will just make this work the best I can without CC. So every time somebody asks me if I have mods in CC, I'm like, I can't get it to work. If I could get it to work, I would probably have it. Because I have it downloaded, I just can't get it to work in my game. And that's probably a me issue, but I followed like 7 different things of people saying how to fix mods not loading into your game. Followed like 7 or 8 different things, still didn't get them to load, so got frustrated and gave up. All right, I am declaring a little break because I need to go and do a little call of nature, refill my drink, and feed the raccoons. And so when I come back, we are going to move up to this corner and work on Sligoo. So I will be back in just a minute. I'm going to mute the mic, and then as soon as I get everything done, I'm going to switch the camera so that if there's raccoons, we'll see them. So I'll be back in just a couple. Everybody grab a drink, and we'll be right back. Well, that's rude. When I went outside, the one raccoon decided to take off. Oh well. If they show up though, the light is on, so we will be able to see them. I guess it is time to work on Sligoo, which is like literally the funnest name ever. So I will flip the camera back here in just a second and get the picture of Sligoo up onto the screen. Right back down. There we go. There is our next victim, or subject, or whatever you want to call it. So now I just need to get little Sligoo and put him probably over here. That looks like a good spot for him. Not that one. Let's get the actual right picture. There we go. We'll move him right over there. There we go. Sligoo is now there. Yay, Sligoo. Did I actually unmute myself? I did. Okay. Such a panic attack. I'm like, did I actually unmute? Alright, tiny paintbrushes. I need to learn to do designs that are bigger. Because all of these tiny little detailed designs are fun, but at the same time, they're kind of a pain in the rear. Not in a bad way, though. In a good way. Alright, little Sligoo is got... We'll start in on the purples. Because purple is an awesome color. And Becky, I can't say anything because I was drinking coffee at the start of the stream. Why I was drinking coffee when it's actually not exactly cool outside, I don't know. But I was drinking coffee. It just was the thing that I actually wanted. So it's what I did. I'm never sure on Sligoo if these little things are supposed to be feet or flippers or what. He's very cute, though. And we love him. Little Sligoo. So it's funny because the actual Pokemon in-game of the Goomy, the one that I painted last time, he does not actually have the shell on his head in the game. But I found a picture of him with the shell on his head, and I thought it was cute. So that is why that's what I did. I had a new baffle for my septic tank put in today. That was exciting. Not as exciting as having the septic tank pumped. What was it? I think 2 weeks ago. I'm glad you don't have to do that yearly because the price of it has gone up a lot. But it's one of those fun things about not living in the city that you have to deal with. But like I said, thankfully it's not something that you have to deal with all the time. Which is good. Because anything involving your plumbing system is so expensive. It's enough to make me very sad. But it is what it is. And it's better to have it than not. Right? Right. All of the fun and excitement of home ownership. Oh, what kind of tricks, Rose? I love it. Speaking of cats, Parky is here, but not being amenable to wanting to be on camera right now because he just walked out of the room. Silly cat. He was so funny. The other day, I was getting ice, and it was a fairly hot day, so I decided that I would put some ice in the cat's water bowl. Because, it's a hot day. Ice in the water bowl. Great idea, right? Parky decided he was afraid of the ice in the water bowl. He freaked out. He was trying to paw at it, and then he would jump backwards and run away. He's such a goof. Like, the things that Parky decides he's afraid of are so random. Like, for a very long time, he was terrified of the ceiling fan. Why he was terrified of the ceiling fan, I'll never know. But he was terrified of the ceiling fan. I think it's just because he's a little weirdo. He's cute, but he's weird. We love Parky, even if he is a little bit on the odd side. I have never tried to teach a cat to do anything other than use a litter box, so I'm wishing you guys all the luck. My youngest son and his husband actually have one of their cats trained to walk on a leash, which is very impressive. Especially because he actually enjoys going out for walks on his leash. They say that you can actually train cats, but I've never tried. I feel like with cats, they train you instead of the other way around. Although, if you ask me, pretty much every animal that comes into my vicinity has me trained, instead of the other way around. I am definitely well trained by the raccoons, the squirrels, the chickadees, the geese. I think all the animals have got me figured out. Parky, don't go upstairs. Parky likes to try and sneak upstairs and get into, not fights, but he likes to cause trouble with my oldest son's cat, who does not like him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that cats definitely remember that the ancient Egyptians worshipped them as gods, and they don't ever want us to forget that. It's actually really funny if you look into it. We didn't domesticate cats. They domesticated themselves, and they're only about halfway domesticated. Even the best of them. But I love them. definitely, of the domestic animals, I think cats have always been my favorite. Dogs are fun, but cats are awesome. I think I'm really enjoying this music. It definitely sounds like we're in some old-timey tavern now. Whew. So does anybody have good plans for the weekend? I don't. My plans for the weekend are trying to take over the world. Sorry, Pinky and the Brain reference. That's a show I haven't watched in a long time. Did anybody else watch Animaniacs and Tiny Toons and Pinky and the Brain? Now I want to watch all of them again. Oh, nice, Eleanor. Vacation is the best. I feel like most of my relationship with animals is just love. I like my dumb critters. Hey, the beach is always a good thing. If it gets really hot this weekend, I might actually shuck off enough of my self-consciousness to go fall in the lake. Oh, I remember you saying that, Becky. Yeah, it makes sense that you wouldn't know them. Well, Pinky and the Brain were great, and the Brain's catchphrase was when Pinky would say, "What are we going to do this week, Brain?" And he would say, "The same thing we always do, Pinky. Try to take over the world." They were a couple of lab mice. Yeah. I loved Pinky and the Brain. Almost as much as I loved Baby Plucky from the Tiny Toon Adventures. Baby Plucky was my spirit animal. He was so cute. And Mindy and Buttons. Always loved Mindy and Buttons. You know, it's funny, I didn't watch too many cartoons as a kid, but after I left home is when a lot of those came out. So I was a semi-adult watching them, which is always fun. Ah, you're never too old for a good cartoon. At least according to me. And then I discovered anime, which is basically just cartoons for grown-ups, and I was even happier. I think I raised my own children on Rurouni Kenshin, Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho. My kids don't really have, like, memories of Barney or anything from their childhood. They have memories of that and, like, Miyazaki movies. Because I was into it and thought that they should be too. I don't know who Dr. Katz is. Tell me all about it. I would like to know. It's funny, I have more knowledge of like 90s and early 2000s TV than I do of now TV. Because I don't have broadcast TV anymore, and I don't have any of the streaming services, so I don't actually watch anything anymore, which is fine. I don't think I miss it. So tell us about Dr. Katz, because I need to find out if it's something I should be looking up on YouTube. Also, Becky, if you haven't started listening to it, I think you would really enjoy both of the new books that we're reading. I meant to ask you, and I'm glad I remembered to ask if I was trying to remind myself that if you showed up at the live, to let you know that I think you will like both of the books that are currently being read. The Becca Cooper books are just fun, and Crystal Singer is a really fun series. That sounds interesting. I think. Parky, I hear you. What are you yelling about, you silly cat? We're talking about various and sundry TV type things. And I was telling Becky that if she has not tried the new books that I'm currently reading, they would probably be to her liking. They're good ones. I say that about almost every book I read, though. Because in general, I don't read a book unless I like it. So that sounds interesting. Oh, okay, comics like Ray Romano. I was like, when you said comics, I was thinking like, you know, Superman and the Far Side, and then I'm like, I don't remember a comic called Ray Romano. There goes my ignorance showing. And then it dawned on me. And then I felt silly. Ah, that is... Okay, it's focusing. Sometimes I really wonder about the focus on my webcam. Out and go flat. There we go. Ah! Why do I always start in the right side when I'm left-handed? I think I make things harder on myself on purpose sometimes. I'm hoping that one day I will get smart enough to actually remember to start at the top left, just to make this whole painting process a little bit easier on myself. I also feel like I'm never going to actually remember to do that. But it's a noble thought that one day I'll remember to do these things. Oh, Rose, I meant to tell you that I now have, and you can see them if you come to the live Friday, I now have Elsa and Anna in Dreamlight Valley. So I will be sure to show them off to you on Friday. Getting Elsa was a pain in the tushy. It really was. But I finally got her. Anna was the easy one. Elsa took a little more doing. But they both now live in the valley, which is good. Made me happy. Who else did I get in since we last played Dreamlight Valley? Oh, I have Buzz and Woody now. So yay, the Toy Story gang is all here. And Friday, like I said, I think we're gonna try to get Simba and Nala. And maybe even work a little bit. I've got to look into... They just added a new Disney character to the roster, and that's Vanellope from Wreck-It Ralph. So I'm trying to work on getting her, but getting her is kind of a pain in the rear. Maybe not as bad as Elsa was, but still kind of a pain in the butt. Oh, good, Becky. Well, if you come Friday, we're gonna see if we can get Simba and Nala. We already have Scar, so we're gonna work on getting Simba and Nala into the pack. Which is good, because when I get Simba and Nala, I should get the very last of the ingredient things, because there's one ingredient that I don't, or a couple of ingredients that I don't have and I can't get because I don't have them. There we go. Yeah, I really need to remember this whole I'm left-handed thing when I start painting. I feel like I forget it every time. But, huzzah! Alright, gotta do the big shell that he's in, and then we can go back up and maybe work on his eyes and cheek patches, and that'll be awesome. Also, I need to make sure that I am on actual video game music. Yes, I am. I did learn that if I accidentally go from video game music to almost any other kind of music, my video gets copyright claimed. Which is fine if it's something I'm expecting, but not fine when I think that I'm in the clear. Then it's very annoying. So that's why most of the time when I'm streaming, I'm using World of Warcraft music because it seems to be safe as far as copyright goes. Plus, I just really like the World of Warcraft music. It's a vibe. And when I get all quiet, it gives you guys something to actually listen to, which is also a vibe. Alright. Let's see if I can do... this spiral here. Oh, I'm going to have to move a few things so you can actually see the part I'm working on. There we go. That should be better. At least here in a few minutes when the camera actually catches up to what I'm doing. I'm kind of hoping that one of the, I can hear a raccoon out there, I just don't see them up in the window. I feel like it wouldn't be one of my streams if we didn't have a raccoon or something here, you know? We have to have one of the critters. I feel like this is a much looser interpretation of this Pokemon than maybe it needed to be, but oh well. Hopefully, my son will still like it, because this is going to him as soon as it's actually done. I need a slightly larger brush for this. This is a bigger area. Hopefully Friday, well, Friday, by the time I stream, I will know for sure if I have jury duty to actually report for the selection process or not. Because that was in the letter that I got, the instruction that on the business day before we're supposed to be reporting, so on Friday, to call the courthouse and see if we have to show up on Monday. So by Friday night, I will know for sure what at least my Monday is going to look like. If not, what all of next week is going to end up looking like. You know, I've been called for jury duty, I think 3 times, but I've never actually been selected. I feel like that is either lucky or I, I feel like it's fairly lucky. The Lion King's very good. I didn't see the live action, but the actual Lion King itself is a very, very good movie, Rose. I think you'd like it. The music is awesome. Oh my gosh. That's a serious trial. Like, if I have to go in for jury duty, I kind of am hoping it's just for something like a traffic violation or something. Do they do traffic violations as a jury trial? Probably not. I think the only live action Disney that I've seen is I saw the, not Cruella, but the one that Angelina Jolie was in. I saw that one in the theaters. And then I saw Beauty and the Beast live action. And I'll be honest, I prefer the cartoon versions of both of them. Just because cartoons can do everything. You know? I think if you tell them that, doesn't that automatically disqualify you? And should I use that as my excuse? If you all make me sit through jury duty, somebody's going to jail? That might actually get me out of it. Thank you, Jay. I might use that as my why you don't actually want me as a juror thing. Y'all make me sit here, somebody's going to jail. Oh my gosh. Now I know what to use as my why you don't want me on the jury thing. I love it. But, you know, Becky, then there's the flip side of that. What if they're guilty and they get free? I mean, just the whole... I don't like the idea of being in charge of somebody's life, guilty or innocent. It's intimidating. I always feel like I barely have my own life going. Oh, yeah! That's a good one, Becky. I'll be like, hi, yes, I would love to do jury duty. Don't mind me. I've got my camera right here, and I plan on vlogging the entire experience. Oh, in fact, even better, I'll tell them that I plan on going live throughout the entire trial so that we can all be jurors together. I'll be like, yep, all of my YouTube audience, they're going to help me decide this trial. So, you totally want me, right? I feel like that would probably get me dismissed so fast my head would spin, which might mean I should try it. Alright, Becky and Jay have given me all of the best ideas for this whole jury duty thing now. I like it. See, that's why I need you guys. You help me come up with the best ideas. I was just going to use the I live so far away and I don't want to be here as my excuse. But threatening to vlog the entire experience, that's even better. I don't know if I would actually be a good juror or not. It would be so hard. Not only because of the responsibility, but just because being impartial is a very hard thing for humans to do. I don't think anybody actually is. Oh, I could! That might save me, Jay. But I mean, when I filled out the dumb questionnaire, you know, that they send you before you're even pre-selected, they ask what county you live in, and I wrote down the county that I lived in. So it's not like they don't know that I live in a different county. It's weird. Well, I have to call the courthouse on Friday no matter what. So I will ask about it. I'll be like, y'all do realize I don't live in the same county as this trial, right? And then if they're like, no, we didn't realize that, I can be like, well, I mean, it was on the questionnaire thing that you sent me, and I wrote it down like a good prospective juror. Yeah, I don't know anybody on the lake that's actually had jury duty that I can ask, so I think because a lot of people that live year-round on the lake are old enough to be exempted from jury duty if they want to be. Which, despite the fact that I grumble about the fact that I'm old, I can't do yet. So I would totally use that excuse, though. When they're like, okay, if you are this age, you are exempted from jury duty if you want to. I'd be like, oh, heck yeah. Let me out of that. I don't mind going places and doing things if it's my choice, but for something like this, I don't wanna. I'm old and I don't wanna. I feel like that's a valid excuse. Just be like, I just don't wanna. Don't make me. I will be cranky. I don't think that I will be cranky is probably a sufficient excuse, though. Aw, look, it's Sligoo! And he's very blurry. I need to see if I can fix that. Hang on, let me see. Let me see here. Did that make it any better? Not really. I guess it could be worse. Also, where did my music go? Yes, I am. It's like, we don't think that you're actually listening to that. I'm like, I really am, I promise. Alright, Sligo. Now we have to work on these cheek patches. Yay for cheek patches. Hopefully they won't bleed onto the rest of him. I'm a little disappointed that still no no raccoons are here. I'm a little sad. I think I'm gonna do his eyes first. I don't like this brush. You would think I would have it all worked out which brushes I really like to use, but I don't. I think everybody should just work really hard to not break any laws, and then nobody would have to be on the jury. Is that a little bit idealistic of me? Probably. But it works for me. You know? If everybody just stopped breaking the law, then I would never have to stress about being on a jury. Seems fair to me. Yay! Eyes. You know, it seems like it would work. I'm sure. Totally. 1,000% it would work, right? Probably not, but you know, we come up with creative solutions. Either that or we should just do like the Amish do and just shun anybody that breaks the law. No jury trial, you're just shunned. That works too, I'm sure. Probably not. You know, when I was a kid, I used to think that shunning sounded like the wimpiest punishment, but I think it would actually be really, probably terrible. Although if I had an internet connection and books, I don't think I'd mind it too much. Oh! Is the weather bad down there, New Girl? Or did they scrub it for some odd reason that they're not gonna, like, talk about? I don't know how launches go. I think they're usually only scrubbed because of weather. Jay, don't you live somewhere near where they launch rockets too? Like not Florida, but I know that there are launches in your area, question mark? Okay. I figured it probably was the weather, but you never know. So, yeah, that is a good thing that they do. It's surprising how many of them actually do choose to stay in the community, although sometimes I think a lot of that is just because if they leave the community, it's gonna be so much harder on them to make their way. But I can't deny the fact that there have been times when I'm like, I'm gonna run away and join the Mennonites. And then I remember that I like the internet far too much to do it. So then I come to my senses. I would be terrible in a very primitive type place. I'm just too spoiled with all of my modern conveniences. I am definitely not a Luddite. I do not yearn for it to be 30 years ago. Although I find that actually it's kind of ironic because if you really look at the place I live, I think we're about 30 years behind the rest of the United States, so maybe I do actually live in the past. I mean, there are places up here that still can't accept electronic payment at all. You actually have to write a check. Which is the only reason why I still have a checkbook, because there are a decent number of things that you can't do online here. Like my taxes. I actually have to write a check to pay my property taxes every year because they do not have an online presence. Which is so weird because the last place I lived, also up here, you could pay online. So I guess it all depends on the county. But the county I live in now is definitely at least 25 years in the past. And it's funny because I remember even when I was a kid, when I would come up to where I live now, I would come up and just laugh about it because that was in the late 80s and early 90s, and you would come up here and you would swear that it was the 70s. So I actually got a paper check in the mail the other day, and I need to call my bank and find out how to deposit it because my bank isn't even in the same state as me. I'm like, do I need to send you guys this thing? It's weird. Alright, well, I think we're done. And I might be able to focus in on the raccoon that's out there. I do see a couple of them, so hopefully... Oh, it is Tripod. Hi, Tripod. Alright, let's see if I can get Tripod on camera before it's time for me to go. Because I think I've gotten all of Sligoo done that I can do without him starting to run terribly. So... there's Tripod. I'm going to see if I can zoom on her here in just a second. See if we can make her bigger. It's Tripod! Oh, and she ducked down. You silly raccoon. Hi, sweetie. Oh, there's one of the babies. Hi, baby. She's like, yes, I will sniff your finger. Thank you very much. She's a pretty girl, isn't she? Hi, Tripod. Everybody say hi to Tripod's ear, because she keeps ducking down to eat the food. There she is. There's a Tripod. Who's a pretty girl? I like my raccoons. They are very, very cute. And probably far friendlier with me than I should let them be. But who could resist that face? They're so cute. And they're so sweet. I see at least one baby out on the far platform. And another one over on the corner platform, it looks like. But I can't really get those guys in focus. So it looks like it's going to have to be Tripod to entertain us before it's time to go. Anyway, I think that is where we are. I think my camera is going to fall over. Alright, let's try that again. Good job, me. Look, now you can see the giant mess because I sat on my own thing. Alright, good job, me. Sorry about that. I did not mean to knock the camera down, but good job, me. Alright, anyway, I think with that, look at all that mess. You can now see my entire messy house. Anyway, I think with me knocking the camera over, that might be the sure sign that it's time for me to go to bed. So, oh my gosh, you saw my ankle! No! Anyway, now that I've knocked over the camera and shown off my ankles, it is probably time for me to head to bed. Actually, I still need to read a chapter of Crystal Singer, and then I can go to bed. But thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys hopefully Friday. So I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.